Breaking news. Donald Trump is threatening to place ICE agents at airports if Congress does not fund TSA. That's fucking insane. Let's break this down. First, we need to understand why Congress won't fund TSA. Spoiler alert, has nothing to do with TSA. Congress is actually arguing about immigration policy. We've entered a partial government shutdown due to these debates in Congress about immigration. So the Department of Homeland Security, if you didn't know, includes both TSA and ICE. So Republicans want to fund the entire Department of Homeland Security as one big package, which would include ICE and border enforcement. Democrats said, you're out of your rabbit ass mind. We will fund TSA and we will pay those workers, but we're not signing off on ICE funding unless there's some change. They want ICE agents to be required to get judicial warrants before entering people's homes. They want them to have to clearly identify themselves instead of operating masked. They want them to wear body cameras. They want to limit things like racial profiling, random detentions. They are tired of people being stopped for the simple fact that they're Hispanic or that they're speaking Spanish. This isn't a random disagreement. It's a fight over how immigration enforcement is being carried out in this country. This is a huge deal. And because TSA is funded under that same department, they kind of just got caught in the crossfire, you know? So now because of that, TSA agents aren't getting paid. And when people don't get paid, they stop showing up to work. So if you haven't been to the airport recently, there's long lines, delays, major understaffing because TSA workers are either working without pay or not coming in at all. And so because TSA is so understaffed, Trump is basically saying that if Congress does not fund this, he will use ICE agents in airports instead. But this really isn't about practicality now, is it, right? He's pressuring people. This is a pressure tactic. ICE agents aren't even trained to do TSA-style airport screening. And more importantly, having ICE at airports would change what an airport is. TSA is there to check bags and keep flights safe. ICE is there to enforce immigration laws. So if ICE starts operating in airports, that space could shift from just a security checkpoint to an immigration enforcement zone. And think about who's actually in airports, people who are traveling. That includes a huge number of immigrants, people on visas, green card holders, international students, people with dual citizenship. That is literally what airports are for. So now you're putting immigration enforcement directly in a space where a lot of these people already are. And that means that they could be questioned about their status. They could be stopped, even detained, especially immigrants or people who are perceived to be immigrants. And that's where the concern comes in, because now you're not just going through the airport security, you're potentially being subjected to immigration enforcement, which would open the door to things like people being profiled in airports, people being wrongfully detained in airports. And this is supposed to be happening in a place that's just supposed to be about traveling. So yeah, the headline sounds crazy when you break it down. It's really a political standoff over immigration, and TSA workers and everyday travelers are the ones that are going to be dealing with the consequences.